Welcome to Women at Halftime podcast, but not just for women, for you men too. If you're at mid-career or the halftime of life, our inspirational topics are not only fun, but also meant to help you maximize and write your next chapter. Right here with me, Deborah Johnson. Well, hello, Deborah Johnson with you today for this really a special holiday. As this is being released as a podcast, it comes out July 4th. And I wanted to do a special episode today, special show, and to celebrate July 4th and what it means. And of course, it also means in our family, for years, we celebrated birthdays on July 4th. My grandmother-in-law's birthday was July 1st, and my mother-in-law's birthday was July 4th. So we would get together and celebrate not only the independence and the day of July 4th as Independence Day, but we would celebrate birthdays. My husband grew up wondering why he didn't get fireworks on his birthday. But anyway, it was always a great day. But today we're going to cover a special episode, Patriot Tales, Stories of American Independence. And I hope you really enjoy this. We're gonna talk about some of the freedoms that were fought hard for in our country and in our nation. While the story of American independence, it began before the date we now commemorate as Independence Day, it was on July 4th, 1776, that the Second Continental Congress, acting on behalf of the 13 American colonies, they formally adopted the Declaration of Independence. And this was an important document authored by Thomas Jefferson. This momentous occasion, it marked the formal separation of the colonies from British rule and the birth of the United States of America as an independent nation. Now, the Declaration of Independence, it eloquently proclaimed the inherent rights of all individuals, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, while enumerating grievances against King George III. And it states in the language of the Declaration of Independence that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. Now, this courageous act of asserting self-governance and embracing democratic principles, it became a cornerstone in American history, inspiring future generations and serving as a beacon of freedom around the world. Today, July 4th is celebrated as Independence Day. It's a national holiday that honors the birth of the United States and the enduring values that it represents. There were those who demonstrate deep love, loyalty, and devotion toward their country, that we call them patriots. They fought long and hard to make the dream of American independence a reality. And the concept of patriotism, it embodies a sense of unity, a shared responsibility, and a commitment to the welfare and progress of one's homeland. Among the numerous historical tales of genuine patriots, well, we're going to focus on 5 here who made a significant contribution to the birth of the United States, including former presidents and signers of the Constitution, such as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and James Madison. So first, George Washington. Washington, he lived 1732 to 1799, and he rose to national prominence in 1754, when his attempts to prevent the French and the Indian War, it garnered attention. Following that, he was commissioned as a colonel of a Virginia regiment, and as tensions with Great Britain escalated, Washington emerged as a distinguished patriot leader. And in 1774, he became a member of the original Continental Congress. And the following year, he was entrusted with the momentous responsibility of being appointed as commander-in-chief of the American forces. Throughout the Revolutionary War, Washington's unwavering determination and strategy, it earned him the title of the Indomitable General. That was a hard one to say. Indomitable General. After the successful culmination of the war, Washington's leadership qualities and his dedication to the cause of independence, they were so widely recognized, and a remarkable display of national trust, he was unanimously elected as the first president of the United States, and he served 2 terms. Washington's presidency was marked by his steady guidance and his pivotal role in establishing the foundations of the fledgling nation. And his commitment to unity, the rule of the law, and the preservation of Republican ideas, it contributed significantly to shaping the young United States. Despite his towering achievements, Washington remained modest and humble in his demeanor. He often acknowledged the guiding hand of a higher power, and stating this: "I have only been an instrument in the hands of Providence." This sentiment encapsulated his recognition that his accomplishments were not solely a result of his individual efforts, but they were intertwined with all of the larger forces at work. Washington's life and legacy continued to serve as an enduring symbol of leadership, fortitude, and selfless dedication to the ideals of liberty and independence. Thomas Jefferson. Well, Jefferson lived in 1743 to 1826, and he was from Virginia, and he dedicated nearly 6 decades of his life to public service. And his involvement in the political sphere, it began with his membership in the Continental Congress, where he played a pivotal role as both a signer and the primary author of the Declaration of Independence. Now, Jefferson's journey continued as he was elected governor of Virginia, followed by his appointment as Secretary of State under President Washington, and then his subsequent role as vice president under John Adams. And eventually, he was elected as the 3rd president of the United States, serving 2 terms. Now, Jefferson's intellectual prowess was renowned, and his prolific writing skills, it led to the drafting of numerous reports, resolutions, legislation, and other official documents, surpassing that of any other of the founding fathers. Jefferson deeply understood the importance of writing, expression, and the dissemination of ideas through various mediums such as literature, journalism, and discourse in promoting and safeguarding liberty. Throughout his career, he remained committed to championing the fundamental principles of freedom. Jefferson's dedication to liberty, it extended beyond his involvement in politics. He introduced various measures aimed at the abolition of slavery, although they were ultimately defeated. But however, he did manage to sign a law prohibiting the importation of slaves into the United States after 1808. That was progress. Additionally, Jefferson fervently advocated for religious freedom. He emphasized that the First Amendment's principle of separating church and state was not intended to infringe upon individuals' religious beliefs or expressions. Instead, it aimed to protect against state interference in matters of faith. The influence of Jefferson's views on separation of church and state is particularly evident in the U.S. Supreme Court's interpretation, which affirms that the purpose of this separation is to safeguard rather than restrict public religious expressions. That's been very important for us. John Adams. Adams lived from 1735 to 1826, and he began his career as a school teacher and an attorney. Now, John Adams was one of the founding fathers, serving 2 terms as vice president under George Washington, and he helped frame the Bill of Rights, explaining the inalienable rights that are God-given rights that can't be repealed or restrained by human laws. Here's that word again, that unalienable right. They belong to each and every individual of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And in addition, there is the right to own private property, the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, justice, and in the court system, and in the right to keep and bear arms. And these were all very, very important, as they claimed freedom from Britain with the heavy taxation they were putting on them, and they could have their own ownership of land, a very important part of this time of life. Adams then became the 2nd president of the United States and the 1st president to occupy the White House. And he was sent as an original delegate to the 1774 Continental Congress and was a signatory of the Declaration of Independence. He wrote to his wife regarding the meaning of his signature, and I quote, "I am well aware of the toil, the blood, the treasure that it will cost us to maintain this declaration." Wow, his words have never been more true. Adams was a passionate advocate for independence with his critical role in drafting the Constitution and his unwavering dedication to safeguarding the newly formed nation's democratic principles. Benjamin Franklin. Now, Franklin lived from 1706 to 1790, and he possessed a remarkable array of skills and talents, excelling in various fields as a statesman, an educator, philanthropist, author, inventor, scientist, and printer. Notably, he was one of the select group of the founding fathers who proudly affixed their signatures to both the Declaration of Independence and to the Constitution. Franklin's contributions to the advancement of society, they were multifaceted and encompassed diverse spheres. We would call him a Renaissance man today. One of Franklin's significant endeavors was his involvement in the abolitionist movement. And he played a key role in establishing America's first abolition society, advocating for the eradication of slavery. Recognizing the profound injustice of denying education to Black Americans under British policies, well, Franklin established a chain of schools. And these institutions aimed to teach Christianity and to provide academic instruction to Black Americans, offering them opportunities that had been systematically withheld from them. How admirable this was. In addition to his endeavors in social progress, Franklin made groundbreaking contributions as an inventor and a scientist. His experiments with electricity were instrumental in advancing the understanding of this natural phenomenon and exploring its potential applications. Now, Franklin's inventions were wide-ranging and diverse, it's pretty amazing, spanning from the nation's first library to the creation of a fire department and a hospital. And he also invented practical devices. If you read any of the works, it's amazing what he invented. The Franklin stove, the lightning rod, bifocals, among many others. And remarkably, Franklin chose not to patent his inventions, opting instead to dedicate them to the public domain for the benefit of all. Now, Franklin's achievements continue to inspire generations, illustrating the power of intellectual curiosity, invention, and a selfless desire to contribute to the common good. James Madison. Now, Madison lived from 1751 to 1836, and he distinguished himself early by graduating from Princeton University shortly before the American Revolution. Subsequently, he emerged as a prominent state leader, actively contributing to the drafting of the 1776 Virginia Constitution. Madison's involvement in public service, it continued as he served in the state legislature and the Continental Congress, gaining valuable experience in governance and in shaping his vision for a stronger national government. Madison became one of the architects of the Constitution, often hailed as the father of the Constitution, promoting the idea of a robust central government while simultaneously safeguarding individual liberties and the autonomy of the states. Madison's contributions were instrumental in shaping the structure, the powers, and the balance of the federal government as outlined in the Constitution. Following the completion of the Constitution, Madison collaborated with Alexander Hamilton and John Jay to write a series of influential essays known as the Federalist Papers. Now, these essays aimed to rally support and to secure the formal legal approval or ratification of the Constitution by addressing the legal concerns, and clarifying its principles. Very important. Now, the Federalist Papers, they became a vital resource in garnering public support and dispelling doubts about the proposed system of government. They told the people what they were actually doing and the legal implications. They didn't hide it. Continuing his dedication to protecting individual liberties, Madison played a crucial role in framing the Bill of Rights. Now, these 10 amendments to the Constitution, they solidified the protection of fundamental rights and freedoms, ensuring their explicit recognition and safeguarding against potential encroachments by the federal government. Madison then served as Secretary of State under President Thomas Jefferson, ultimately assuming the presidency, becoming the 4th president of the United States. The attainment of American independence is indebted to that tireless effort of the numerous Patriot leaders. We only covered 5 today, and the bravery of those who fought valiantly on land and sea to secure our unalienable rights and our freedom. And it's imperative that we never underestimate the significance of this achievement, and that we continually express our gratitude toward those who have made immense sacrifices on our behalf. And may we always cherish the hard-won liberties that we enjoy and remain forever indebted to those who have selflessly dedicated themselves to the cause of freedom. So if you are listening to this today, July 4th, or right around July 4th, and as you watch the fireworks, as you celebrate, remember those who have sacrificed to give freedom, to provide all that we have, our unalienable rights, and the fact that we can own land. This was such a big deal from coming over from Britain. They owned everything, and to have the ownership of their personal land was very important. So just celebrate that and be grateful. Make sure that you click into the article with this. I've given extra resources for your information. Some very wonderful resources on this that you can pursue on your own, and provided the full text with it. I think you will really, really enjoy it. You can even read it to those that you care about, or read it for yourself. Make sure you connect with me on all of our sites as well, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter, our newsletter that comes out every week with an article and a lot of other materials. And we have DJ Works Music, and also Deborah Johnson, speaker. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to being with you again on the Women at Halftime podcast. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us. It is because of our wonderful listeners like you that we keep going strong week after week. We'd love it if you'd share and follow us to not miss a single show and even write a review. You can also find all of our articles, products, and links at womenathalftime.com.